Good morning, traders. Welcome to our trading room. To my YouTube viewers, good morning, and good morning from Dubai, because I'm in Dubai. By the way, if for those traders who have been with us on the live session that we did last year, the end of the year, we did a week of live session. We offered to give you we promised to give you three free accounts to trade, demo accounts, which is the funded account from the company Funded Next. And there was a confusion with the link. So because I gave the wrong link to traders to register with them for the lottery to pull, to see which three traders are going to get an account, some traders end up just registering on the site itself, which means they don't know whether that trader came from me or came from somewhere else. So what they asked me to do is to ask you guys to give me an email, your email that you registered with them. It doesn't matter where you registered, as long as you're registered with them and you were one of the people who registered during that period of time with me, you just send me the email, and then they will look for those email in the registration. And if you registered with them, whether under my name or not, it wouldn't make a difference. If you registered with them, then you will be in the draw. And they will do the draw this week. And by the end of this week, we will be able to announce the three people who won. Now, for further promotion with them, they're working on that. I would like it to be a weekly basis. They're working on that. They can't promise anything, but if they can, you would definitely want to subscribe to my channel. You'll want to set up the notification, because if that happens, we'll be going live at least once a week, either during the week or at I don't like to do things on the weekend. I prefer to keep the weekend for my family. So it's either going to be on a Monday morning like this, or it's going to be somewhere during the week live, where if you join the live session, you will be in the draw for that one, should they offer it. Now, for those traders who had actually registered during that period of time with them, while we were doing the live one, in this description, in this video, the description of this video, there will be a Zoom link. Now, you need to use the email you registered with them and registered in the Zoom link for a free live session. So this week, which is going to be Thursday, I would do a free live session, and we will announce the three winners. So you can register there, put your email, and even if you didn't register during that period of time with them, you can still register for the free session. Right? You will simply not be in the draw, because they will match the emails to emails of the people who registered during that period of time, and only those people will be in the draw. That doesn't mean you cannot come in the live session, because we will be trading. We will announce the three winners and we will be trading. So as soon as they give me, we will set it for Thursday. Hopefully by Thursday, they will be able to give us, and you will join the live session and you will know who are the three winners, and you can get your update on what we do. So I hope that is clear. Go to the link in the description, register in that Zoom for the free live session, and that's all you need to do. Use the same email you used to register with them. If you didn't register with them, just use any email. It's up to you. Okay, that said, let's go. Dollar index. Dollar index is still in this sideways consolidation. Nothing has actually moved very much if you're looking at the bigger picture. We're still in this one, right? We went up, we're coming down. And like I said, this most likely looks like a consolidation. So there's a very, very high probability we're going to get back to the top here. We're coming back to the top there, right? So right now it moved up and we kind of make a sharp pullback. So the question is, do we look at this as an expanding flat, or is it going to make a consolidation here and then go? If you look at consolidations that they make when you have sharp move, this was a sharp move now. They reversed that, made a running flat here, go up, make a bigger running flat. And now, because the consolidation is stuck in the middle here, I think we might most likely see a sideways move here and then the continuation to the upside. So with that said, let's go to the 1 hour. And in the 1 hour, you can see that this sharp move here is a standalone impulse, a correction of all of this. And we're in the middle here now. That by itself doesn't mean anything. What it is going to tell us is if they come to the top here, then go back down, we're going up. If they come to the bottom here and then go back up, we're going down. Now, going down doesn't mean much, because it all means they'll break this low. So the downside could still mean consolidation for upside. But if it does go up, if this does go up first, and then come back here, that means we are going out. There's a very strong likelihood that they will move out of the structure and not consolidate here more, because if we're going to consolidate here more, they'll likely go downwards, not upwards. So which way it's going to go? We go to the 15 and we're looking at this piece here. Right now it looks upside. At least there's a small 15-minute running flat here that seems to be going upwards. The question is how high we go back into this impulse. Right? And we don't know that. That's the unknown. When that happens, that will tell us, that will inform us. If the chances are we get here, we're going to come back here and then go. Or if this just break the top, come down here, and how it comes down to would be important. If it breaks the top and start to go down, we will sell it. Regardless, I think it's still going to go really slow, but we will sell it. Now, can we buy the break of this top for it to go back to retest that top? I think that's a really bad idea, because you don't know how high it's going to go. It could do this and then turn. It could even get to the top there, and you may say, well, we missed a very good trade. And I would say not so, because you're putting a risk with that hope, right? That's not even an expectation. That's just a hope that it goes that far, because I don't expect it to do it. I expect it to break this top and just probably go down back, right? We don't know that it's good. The downside is much more likely because the impulse is coming from this side. So if we get any sell set up, we will definitely take it. But if we get any buy, we'll be with caution. So I say we just give it time to let it, at least make the B part of it, and then we look for the C part, which is the next impulse into it. Silver still looks downside. We expected this to go up. I hope some of you took that trade on Friday. If you took the buy on Friday, even if you closed and re-enter, you did well. Right? Even if you closed it and re-enter here, because you probably would have closed it. Remember when I left it, it just tagged you, and I said if it stays there too long, get rid of it. And if you saw that flag, and that's a nice 15 minutes flag, you probably would have put it here, took out some money out of it. I hope you closed it somewhere in here. We were in a much lower time frame, so you had more advantage of closing and re-entering. This turned well, so you should have taken some profit. It's coming back down, which is good. Now here's the thing: would we look at this downside as a correction for one more up, or is it total downside? At this point, it's not very clear because it's not coming down very aggressively. There was a small running flat here. Again, you don't necessarily need to sell that. We can put an entry here or wait for a bigger correction. If it makes a bigger correction here, that would be a sell. If this goes back up from here, as soon as it breaks the top, we're looking for a sell again. If we get a buy setup, we'll take it. Right now, there isn't actually. I don't think it's a good buy setup here. But if it starts to break out of this and make a nice little flag, I think it will. If it comes out of here and make a flag, it might be worth taking that trade to break the top, because it is going to break the top. So there's a very good chance we could trade this both ways today. We'll just have to wait and see which way it is. You get the flag, which way you get a confirmation, and then you go with it. Gold pulling back really sharp. We're still in this. We actually broke the low and broke the top. So if you're looking at it this way, you may think, well, what if it's an expanding flat? That is still possible. This one didn't give the pullback. This one only gave one. So either contracting flat or we get a running flat. If we get a running flat, it might be worth selling it. The sell side is always a good idea. The buy side is a little dangerous because you see we pull back this much already. So the buy side is pretty dangerous. The sell side, I wouldn't be surprised if this drop, if that's an expanding flat. If not, then what it's going to do is it's going to come here, drop like this, go back up. We will put this as a separate running flat, and this correction will be separate of its own. We'll figure that out. We'll either put this separate, put this as a flat in here. This one, sorry, that dropped there and then went back up. So we'll figure out what the bigger pattern is afterwards. If you're already in this sell, put it to break even, because it can pull back. If you're not in, then wait for the pullback, then go for it. Euro, I think we can go for the sell in euro. This was the buy. This was also an entry order on Friday after the news. We put this entry order for the buy in euro. Pretty good one. I think we might look at it as an expanding flat. So this sell here is not a bad idea, by the way. If you put that sell, not a bad idea. Remember, the sell side of these trades are better. Again, you will have the risk here. If it doesn't go, take it off. It doesn't mean it can't pull back one more like this and, start doing this. We'll get break even, pull back there, drop you in the trade. So if it pulls back, it will still be a sell. It will just be a slight bigger running flat. So the sell side is still good. The buy side will take you a while. Even if you sell it here, right, and it goes back up, This is only one piece. So it has to come back down at some point to retest this low, give you break even, exit the trade, and then look for the buy. So we wouldn't get a buy setup now, but we have a sell setup we can go with. So I'll say if you're not in, I'll put it as looking for the sell setup, assuming you're not in the traders yet, and put it for that one, right? Pound, definitely if you get a sell, you'll take it. This sell, I hope some of you are in it already. This would definitely be a sell you take because this one barely tagged the low, so I think we're going to go more. The likelihood is more downside. We're in this move when we're consolidating mostly in the lower side of it. So this would give you break even in the worst case if it doesn't go, right? So in the good case, you actually watch it come back here. If not, wait for any other flag and sell. If you're not in, wait for a flag sell or wait for a pullback sell. So I'll take this off and say wait for a pullback sell because I just came in and I don't know if any one of you in the trade. Aussie. Okay, so Aussie dropped. It's pulling back. Now, this is where you can get a buy setup and you can see the difference in it. This one is consolidating at the top of this impulse. So an entry order to buy here for the upside makes sense. Aussie and the whole is upside. The bigger picture of Aussie looks more upside than downside. So I think that buy is a good idea. The only way you can sell this is if it's going to go lower. So this is a good buy. I think we can go with that. And these are independent movements. These are not dollar movement. Aussie goes up on its own. Euro go down on its own, right? You see this pull back that much, and now you're consolidating. Aussie is consolidating at the very top of it. See? We didn't pull back to the middle and consolidate. We're consolidating at the top. So that's a good buy setup. Which means this is an active buy setup. And this is an active buy setup. So even if this is going to go down, you don't have a sell here as yet because we are mostly on the top half of it, right? If it was in the middle or it was lower half, it'd be okay. So this could come here and go right back up, but the problem buying is if you buy here because it can still tag you and drop. So you have to keep an entry above the top or wait for it to go back up, make a flag. If there's any downside in this, we will get the sell, but not on this flag. Right? Because this is one piece. This is the first pullback. This does not belong to that pullback. So if this is to go down really slow, but get lower to this point, then you need a pullback like this for a flat or running flat or whichever, and then we will sell this. We might consider it that buy. So if you want to buy it, let it go lower, and then we look for the buy. Because you have an advantage in terms of risk to reward and, much easier trade to exit in that case. Okay, so we expected this to come this much and then go right back up. It actually went a little lower, so we can just take this off, pull this here. And now this is definitely a buy setup. So this would be a buy here. If you're not in it and it pulls back a little, take the trade. It's a valid trade, so you go with a buy here. Right, this is a valid buy setup. This is already in the go. This one doesn't need to pull back. I think we can easily assume that this could go. If it stays here too long, you close it, it will become a bigger flat here. But right now, it looks very good. Let's go with Swiss. I think we can make an argument for a big flat forming here. Look for a buy setup. The first buy setup is gone. There's a 15-minute flag here. This is gone. Wait for another flag. If it keeps going slowly like this, then you probably get in a bigger one here. Right now, this one looks good. So we'll take this expanding flat and look for a buy setup. By the way, the Swiss you want to buy. Remember all the Swiss pairs, you want to pay attention to the upside on the Swiss pairs. So if this is making a separate flat of its own, it's probably going to be stuck in sideways here. So this will probably go up some more, pull back here and then go. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is it. So we can go with this for now and then change that should it make a bigger one here. Buy setup. Look for a buy setup because you're not in the traders yet. Yen. The sell was perfect. And I hope most of you took profit here. I can actually show you where I closed mine. Right in here. I think once this drop here and start to consolidate, not the first pullback here, not this pullback, not this pullback, but once I notice this is consolidating, closed. And I hope you did the same, right? So this worked perfect. Drop there, close, leave it alone, walk away. I actually thought it would make a flag and continue to drop. I was very tempted to put an entry here, but I wasn't going to be there. So I walked away and I was like, okay, I'll take that and go. Come back and it's out the top. I was like, okay, that's good. You actually wanted to go back there. There's a sell setup forming here. It's a very small trade. You'll have to be careful because this might be the impulse. We might be coming down here, go back up and then drop again. This could, the lower this come, the better it is for the sell setup. We don't have any buys here, that's for sure, because we're in the lower half of it, right? So if this is to come here lower, if this is a stay sideways like this and go there, it still could be a sell, right? But the lower it comes, the better it is for the sell for us. So I'll look for a sell setup. Euro yen. So if you took this, you probably would have closed it. This one is the one you're looking for. Wait for a flag sell. It's making a flag here now. So if you can wait for a complete flag, you can sell. Wait for a flag sell. This one didn't go all the way there, but remember we said once it break the top, you're ready for the downside. Actually, you don't want to miss that trade to the downside, just like you didn't want to miss this one to the upside. So now this might not be the one that breaks through because we assume that this is the one we're in now. That was a small flag. There was an option to get a smaller one. If this makes a bigger one here, this would be a good trade to the downside. And then we can expect it to go back up before it drops. Right? We'll expect this move up. So this was where we started that. Once we had this one and we got that, this was where we started the forecast. So 1, 2 worked, 3 looks like it's in progress. And then we'll see if we get the 4th one and the 5th one. Right? So the 4th one would be this up back. Something like, oh, sorry. I'll just put it like this. It should be close to or equal to this one. That was good. I almost got the exact length, right? So close to or equal to that one. And then the big trade to the downside comes. All right? This is just a random one. Because after that, if this proves to be what we think it is, this one is going to drop through the bottom. We're definitely going to be going down. So that just has to prove to us that that is a big flat there, like this. And then we can expect this to drop. We will be going down totally. That might start a very big move to the downside. Whether it's a yen or euro move, who cares? We'll figure that out when we go. It could be both as well. So look for the sell setup. Don't miss it. It's not an active sell because I don't see a flag really there, but it's kind of starting to consolidate. So you can put that entry. Euro CAD. Okay, we're back. They went up back, so we will make an assumption 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that this is part of it, right? Since it went back there, so we'll put this as part of it. That was one of the questions we had, whether we'll put this as part of the correction because we weren't sure about it. I think now we can clearly say that it is part of the correction. And we'll look for a sell setup here. And we don't have a sell setup as yet, and I don't think this is going to go higher than that. I just wanted to break this top. Or come down back here some more and then go back up like this. That's a big flat. Strange. It should drop without a bigger flat like that. So you'll have to sell it with some caution, right? If you're going to sell this for the downside, you wanted to tip this stop here first and then put the entry order for the sell. Right? That would give you the last impulse. If this goes a little more like that, we'll sell this here to see whether we get it here and whether it breaks through. Right? Because this is definitely going sideways and we need to come to the bottom. So this one didn't drop. This one is going to drop. We'll put it from here. And we're going to assume that this one drops to break the low. And from there, back to the top. Now, the only question is, why do we have such a big one here? Because this, if we're making an assumption that this is a 1, 2, 3, it should have been a sharp one. So it means that we're still in the consolidation. We're still in probably the B part of it. We'll see. We'll see how we put it when it comes to the bottom here and go back up. Because it's kind of ending something. Maybe it's a channel. Maybe it's running flat. We'll have to figure out which one it is. But the sell is a good idea. We'll take the sell and then we'll see what happens from there. I will see. Maybe it stays in this correction somewhere. So sell setup. That's you have to wait for the setup. It's not active as yet. Let it go up and then we look for the sell. Euros. I think you could have closed that. Actually, it was not here. We had it under this impulse. right? We had an entry there. So that should have either come off for break even once it tagged you, or even if you were back in, you could have closed it for break even here because it pulled back quite a lot. Let's see where that pullback will take us. I think just a correction. I don't think we're trying to go out. If we're trying to go out, this would have to be a flat. We don't have a flat there as yet. Now, whether this is an expanding flat here or whether this is making a separate one of its own, we're still looking for a sell setup. Right? So this one made this flag and drop, then pull back that much before they drop again. So this pullback is the start of either some kind of a correction here for downside. As of now, it's downside. We don't have the buy setup in it. Right? There is no buy setup there that you want to take. Unless it makes a big flat and then we'll go with it. So we're looking for a sell setup. You're in New Zealand? I think this was easy too. It actually broke the top, so any sell setup is good. Actually, this should have been sold already. This piece here should have been sold somewhere here, break-even trade. We'll see if this is making some kind of an expanding flat because this looks 1, 2, 3 in there. And then sell setup. So what we'll do is we'll wait for it to turn and make a flag. You don't want to put an entry here. Your risk to reward will not be good. Let it turn, let it break that top, turn and make a flag. Could it be we're still trying to go up? Could this be like a separate, bigger correction here? Let's say, can we look at that as a separate, bigger correction trying to go up? It is not the best, setup for upside, but if it comes here and then make a flag, we'll definitely consider the buy to retest the top. It might just retest the top and then drop because this is flat. So I think we're good. We'll see where that takes us. Looking for a sell setup. Come here. Can it go back up? Possible, but breaking out might be likely. All right, so let's wait and see. Look. So most of the euro pairs you're looking for sell setups on them. I think euro Swiss definitely needs to go one more down. It didn't go exactly the way we thought it will go, which means the sharp move here and the sharp move down and the sharp move up didn't happen. It did make moves, but none of them are the moves we were expecting, right? So even this one up isn't the move we expect. So that buy would have been a break even, which means we're still going sideways. We're still in this, right? We're still in here. Take this off. So if we move these, we'll just move them because eventually it still comes down. The downside hasn't changed. What changes the structure inside? Right, structurally, what we have here is more of another flat forming here. This is kind of strange. You don't need another flat there. So if we take this as a 1, 2, 3, and this is the move down, then we should have got a sharp move up. So it means we're making another 1, 2, 3, another move down, and then go back up. We could take this as a correction. Then you can take this as a correction. All it needs to do is break this top, right? And it probably will come back here, not necessarily breaking the lows. We're not breaking lows. And not necessarily breaking the tops. We're not breaking tops, right? So this becomes an impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. We need to go back up for this. And then drop. What we're going to have is a contracting flat or two contracting flats in the middle. A contracting triangle or two contracting flats in the middle. I'll go with the two contracting flats in the middle. So I'll put this line like this. This is just to gauge what this piece is doing. I don't think this is going to drop from here. I don't think it's going to take off, but it could retest this top here. Right? They could retest that top. Even break it. Break this top here. Break that up and then come back. So we let it break the top, then look for the sell side. Remember, the bigger picture is still the sell. So I'll take out most of these smaller ones because it actually stayed in the correction. And instead of making those sharp waves, it's going to make something more complex. We wanted to come to the top, break that up, and then look for the sell. That is this bigger sell. But there's a good chance you might get this first. Not necessarily breaking that up. Coming back here. Go back to the top. And then come out of the structure. So let's see if we get the sell from here first. That would be a good trade. Look for a sell setup. Euro pound. Well, you're already in the sell, and this is a nice flat. So that means if you sell this, that's good. So we can look for a sell here. Put an entry order under the low. Go for this. Because you have a flat that's probably coming down. We're going to break this low. We're definitely going to pass through these lows. Seems like we're going to break this low and go. And if we break that low, then this is not a thing, because then this one goes 1, 2, 3, come back, break the low here. Maybe even break through the entire low. In that case, we'll have to go with this is all the correction. And this is part of the down move coming. Not belong to that correction, like correction of its own here. Right, for the downside. So let's see if we go and break the low. That's a good sell setup. It might most likely break this one and maybe even break this low. And then might go back up because we're still looking upside. Right? Structurally, this could still go back up one more. This is the sharp move up. All these are just corrections. So go back to the 1 hour, take the sell, and let's wait. You're looking for that sell setup. This is an active sell, by the way. Pause. Okay, that's a flat for one more up. Might be a flat for one more down. Okay, this piece looks like 1, 2, 3. Come back here and then go. No trade setup in it. You definitely can't buy to the top there. But we can look for a sell from the top there to come down. If this go back all the way to the top here and then come. Possible. Or we could make a bigger correction in here. We'll see which one comes first. Pong yen. Definitely looking for that sell. So a number of the yen trades, you're looking for the sell. This one, the entry order was under the lower. You should have pulled that entry order because it didn't drop. It's actually coming down slow. Wait for a flag sell. This is definitely a good sell you don't want to miss. Right? Because this is doing exactly what we wanted to do. And this flat is clear. A lot of the yen pairs, I think 4 of them has this structure. The euro yen, the pound yen, Swiss yen, and one more. We'll have to figure out which one. So the euro yen we show you're looking for a sell. You can focus on these trades today. These are very good trades. Euro yen, pound yen. They're easy trades. Right? Structurally, you can see that they're pretty easy. And if they don't go the way you expect them to go, the chances for break even are pretty easy. So wait for a flag here. They do make flag. They make big flags like this. They make small flags like that. Wait for a flag. Go for the trade to the downside. All right? 1 second, guys.
Voice gone.
Sorry, just realized I was muted. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so this here makes a flat. This could come here, but I'll be careful with the sell inside of the correction because it might just come here and go back up, right? So let it break out and then you look for the sell. Buying it, if it comes here, make a flag, you can buy to retest the top. Remember this one we were saying you could buy to retest this top if you get a setup. There wasn't really a setup, so if you don't get a setup, let it go. So this would be, just wait. If you're going to look for sell setups, wait. Pound CAD, it's a pound trade with this huge structures in it, these huge, thing like this. So I'm not sure whether it's going to drop because this still looks like sideways, like go there, come back here and upside. It looks more upside. It doesn't look downside. But the upside is limited because we are in this one and this whole thing still looks like it can come back here. So we don't have a great setup, but you can go with the buy. Wait to see whether it makes sense, and if you can get a risk to reward, and not this piece. This has to go there and come back because you're looking for this down. That will give you this flat, and then you need to go back up and come back here. And if we get this, if you see that, go for this trade. Try to get a flag here to go. That would make a lot of sense because you'll get out for positive. Pound Swiss. This is a Swiss pair, but it also has a pound. We did break out of this, right? The trade was just to break that up. It did break it up, it dropped. And now you're making a running flat actually here in the same corrective structure. So if we look at it this way, we made an impulse. This was the move down. I think this is a separate one of its own. We're not putting this one with this as yet. But if we do that, then this is what you'll classically call a squeeze. An A, a B, and a squeeze that is going to drop, right? So if we pull a trend line like that to see whether that is making a squeeze, I think we're still in the B wave. I don't think that's a squeeze. I think we're in the B wave still. So we're still in the correction, and this might be the core part of that correction. So this here made one, you're getting this. I think you might get one more. You could go back up, make this flat. There's a small one in here. I'll ignore that one. You're making this flat. You might still get a drop like this. We still expect this drop. I think all of this will be the correction. Go back up, come back down, go back up, and then drop. So we'll be stuck here sideways. We saw the yen pairs doing this, and so far the pieces are fitting in. This one, I don't know. It looks like one more down. I doubt this is the start of that big move to the upside we were expecting. We know that the Euro Swiss definitely has one more down when it's finished, right? When that curve. So this might be the same thing, making that correction and drop one more and then go back up. You can look for a sell setup. Aussie Swiss also is definitely not looking upside, although this broke out, it didn't go, which means this is looking like it's going to drop one more. Take that off. You want it to drop. I don't know if you want this sell. I don't think it's a good idea to sell that. Let it drop, break the low, and then look for this buy. If this becomes a flat, then you'll definitely go one more down before they go back up. Right? So if this is to come here and break the low, we'll change this trend to this. There might be a sell setup here. Now that I think, again, you have to decide if that is something worth selling here just to break this low. Because once we break that low, we have to go back up, right? Once this low is broken here, we have to go back up for this flat. And then after that, they could go one more down. I could see the possibility of this coming one more, especially if it's a running flat. This coming here one more down to the bottom here, and maybe then go back up. Come down for this one, and then go back up for that one. So then we'll go back up for this one here. Right? After which we come down back. So one piece I'll take off this. It's just one piece more. And then come down from there. I think that is a possibility. This could all still be some kind of a complex correction that goes up, come back down, go back up, and then drop. But once this piece is complete and it comes to this level, we will look for a buy setup. So right now you want it to go up. Maybe you'll get a buy. Maybe we'll get a buy setup today, especially if this comes, break the low, go back, give us a flag for upside. That should be a trade to the upside. Aussie yen. Got to break even. You got it the second time, you got it third, fourth, fifth time. You got it a lot of time, especially in that correction, to close it. Look for the sell. That would have been this one. I'll go with this as a bigger flat in here because the top is the green one there. So we'll go with this as a bigger flat. This is the top. This is the flag. And you're dropping. Wait for another flag sell. So the question is, are we coming down? Are we over this thing? We didn't break the top. Is this the top? If that's the top, this could go quite a lot. If not, we're just making some big correction in here. Come back here and make a new high before it comes. But if you get a flag, sell it. Now, the Aussie yen and the Euro yen and the pound yen have different looking structures. Right? It's not very similar. And I don't think this thing is trying to drop to the bottom. Although it's possible. Wait for flags. Aussie CAD. Upside. We put the entry here, but you would have closed that, put an entry above the top. It's still upside. This is a good one. We're going up. All right, this is easy. 1, 2, 3. And now you have a flag here. I think you can make it a running flat. Go with a running flat for one more down. What if we're still going one more down? What if this is more of a correction like this that is coming here to retest this low and then probably go? You would have to wait for this to make a flag here. So you'd have to wait for this to prove that that was the small flag. This is an impulse down, make a flag, and then go with this flag. We need to break that low and then go back up. But as of now, that entry order is valid. You should have that entry order there. It doesn't matter if it's going to go down because then it's not going to tag you. Let's see. Again, do we think this is trying to drop and that is the top? I don't think so. That doesn't make sense to be the top. CAD? This is good. I think the pound yen, the euro yen, the CAD yen, and the Swiss yen. Those are the four. So CAD yen, you should be in the sell. If you close and re-enter, let's see what it would look like. Yeah, you could have closed and re-enter. You'd have to enter under this low. There's a chance that this is a contracting flat and this one is taking off. Actually, this could have gone higher because we were hoping this was going to drop, but instead it consolidated there and went up. So it should have been here. And you should have closed it somewhere in here because once it comes here, there's a chance of going back. If it's still with the trade good enough, there's still a chance for a pullback if it's not a contracting flat. If this is not contracting, then it's running, right? It's going to come here, go there, running flat, and then sell. So if you're not in the trade, wait for a pullback, sell it, or wait for a flag, sell it. I'll take this off because I'll take it off as break even, right? But we have the similar structure. This one, all it did was break the top. It doesn't have to go anywhere much. It needs to come back down like this. And there's a nice flag here. There are a number of flags. So you'll definitely get a flag somewhere here. If it pulls back, go with a running flat and sell it. We're looking for this trade. And then one more up before you get the big drop. That's assuming that this pattern does exactly what we think they're going to do. Should it be structural change, we'll see that. As it develops, you will see that. Put it in the 1 hour. And just like the euro yen, this one should come back and break this low. Euro yen is big time downside. This one is not big time downside. See, this time it's still one more up. This whole thing is coming down. And it might even come back all the way to this level here. See? It could come back pretty deep. Right? This could work its way down really slow back to here. But it doesn't look like total downside. Because you have a drop, you have a big flat. You have a drop, right? If you take this is the top, but it dropped, it made a big flat. It dropped, it made a small flat. The drop is making a bigger one. So it's not really an impulse to the downside. It seems like one big correction happening here that eventually will go back up. Comes here and then eventually go back up. But for now, sell setup. Look for a flag, sell. Aussie, New Zealand. Okay, it's coming down, but kind of useless. You could go with a small flag there for upside. I think that is a higher probability. The upside here is a better one. You can put the curve if you want, and that means upside. That means upside. Put an entry here. Maybe even lower, put an entry. Go with this as a flag and put an entry here. With this as a flat and put an entry there for a buy. It could give you a sudden spike like this to the upside. So this will be an active buy. New Zealand yen, this doesn't have the same structure as all the other yen pairs, but similar. So this will be 5 of them, right? Okay, this one looks similar here. It's coming down, it's coming back to this point, then go back up and then drop. And this is the top. So we'll go with that. Look for sell setups. Wait for a flag sell. Let's go to wait for a flag sell. As of the New Zealand CAD. Now you finally get something. It's becoming interesting because you're getting a buy setup here. An entry order above the top is a good idea. First to come back here and then see if it breaks out. I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks out because this thing has a lot of pieces that needs to go together. and not the fact that all of these pieces belong to the correction. That's an active buy. Let's see, New Zealand Swiss. Sideways. So this is the Swiss pair, and it's not really going up, which means this impulse, this became the most impulsive part, right? That is the most impulsive part, because you have this done, you have that correction, you have this, and you're getting another correction here. So this might likely drop one more here, but then you're going to go up, you're going to come down, you're going to go back up, then you're going to drop here, and then from here probably go back up. All right, so this flat here is similar to the Euro Swiss, incomplete, still has a lot of pieces. Maybe this is the low. If that is the low, this should be a buy setup. So you can put an entry over here. If that's not the low, then they actually come back, make a new low here, and then go back up. CAD Swiss. Okay. This hope you get break even either here or either here. So I'll take that off. I think we can go with this as a big expanding flat. And now you're in 1, 2, 3. We're in this one. So if we're in that one, the next one should be to the upside. It should be this 1, 2, 3 to the upside now. But let's see if we're going to get that, because it's not moving up as yet. Still looks more downside. We did tag the top here, so this coming down here could give you a running flat. That might end up there. So let's see. Or is it just going to break this top here and go down one more? I think we wait, but look for a buy setup. Swiss yen has a similar structure to the Pong yen. Well, not exactly similar, but the down move is very likely. So you're looking for this move here and then upside. Now we do have a big flat here. It's not necessarily it's going to make a big flat, but if it comes here and start to make a bigger one, good for us. We'll get this trade. So look for a flag sell. Let me see if there was any 15 minutes flag. Not really. There was a pullback, not a flag. So if it gives you a pullback, go for the running flat, sell it. If it makes a flag sell. So I'll put wait for flag sell. And this one, I hope you took the sell somewhere. The sell should have been either here or this flag, and you'll be positive in it right now. If you're not, wait for another flag sell. Downside. So wait for flag sell. Aren't you guys? Well, you got break even out of that if you had the entry to there. It's coming down. It's making a flag here for a sell setup. Let me see in the 1 hour how much hours that is. You're there quite a while. You're there for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours already. So it could be a sell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 almost. So good. That's a good flag for a sell setup. And see where that goes. If this wick is real, I don't think we're still in correction. This wick above here. Sometimes these wicks are not true. If that wick is not true, then we're in correction for one more up. But if that wick is real, we're actually going down. So you guys have to check that. Yes, oil. Okay, we're coming down. We're going to get a flat. It's coming down for this one. There was a sell up there. There comes some more, and then look for the buy setup. US 30. Okay, this did go up one more, as expected. I think we can go with this as a running flat. Okay, now 1, 2, 3 with all this is the correction in the middle. We're coming down for this one, and we are already at the bottom. So you might get a sell if you go with this. It might be a sell. It doesn't necessarily have to be a big one, but once it breaks the low, you can put it to break even. So we can put an active sell here. Okay, this didn't go anywhere. This would have been, I think this was the news because it's very far away from the low. The low is here. And there was a small flag. So that was news. And if you got tagged, we would have closed it in the news. I did not to close the trade already where your stop loss should have been. It's kind of consolidating here. There was a sharp pullback, but it's consolidating in the middle. We don't really have any sense of the directions yet because you're in the middle of it. Let's wait. And this one might be the same. Yes, you're in the middle of it. Wait. Although we can make an argument for this being some kind of an expanding flat. And wait to see what this does before we go with the sell. So we wait some more on that one. Let's see Tesla. It's coming down. If you got tagged, no problem. You'll have enough time to close it. Look for re-entry. Still looks upside. This one still looks upside. We just don't have a perfect setup. You can put an entry above this top for this one, but it's not a perfect one to see if that goes. Okay, this definitely gave you a break even. Take it off. It dropped, it broke below where we're going now. Back up to the top, put an entry for a buy. You made a low, they go up, they consolidate, they go with the buy, you're going out of the structure. So that makes it a buy setup. Put an active buy. Nothing here is yet. That sell was good. You would have closed it here. The buy is coming on. I don't think it's very clear, but you can put this entry here. Although if you can wait for this flag to be bigger, and that would be more like this one here, right? That would give you more confidence in the buy, but it's a good buy setup actually. Nifty is consolidating, which is good. If you consolidate here, you're making a flag for upside. Bitcoin, I think we're just making, we had initially this small one that this should have pulled back here to make that flag. That didn't happen. They went up, they pulled back. You could have gone with this. Put a stop there. Now, I think that is over. This small one is over. This is a sharp move down. We're going to get a sharp move down here. Wait for this to come here. Wait for it to go back, make a flag, and then go with that trade. So let it come back a little here. Don't try to sell it. Let it drop a little more there, and then we go for the buy setup. The buy would be an easier trade. The upside is this, right? You've got a big flat, and you're consolidating at the top of it. So that's upside. So Bitcoins look up. Ethereum looks up. Although this is in the middle, right? This piece is in the middle, which means they can go lower. This one is not convincingly going up. So I'll be a little cautious. It has to go up from here, not go lower than that. If it goes lower than that, that's it. It's going to go retest this low and then much lower than that. Much lower downside, much more downside would be there. XRP, upside, this is easy. If this goes up, you go. If it goes down, you don't want to trade. ADA, I think this one was a surprise. I thought that was a small expanding flat to go up, and they actually came down lower. Structurally, it still looks upside. It could be that, you know, it might start going down from there, but structurally it's upside. If it's going to go down from here, you need a spike. You need just to spike here, make a flat, and then come. I think the upside looks good. BNB, upside. It's at the bottom of the whole correction, so it's still upside. Dash definitely went down. So two of them went down, most of them up. Dash downside is not a surprise. The bigger picture to the downside is not a surprise because this was a flat. So we're coming to break this low. Dash might be important to wait for it to break the low and then look for a buy setup. So let it drop some more, break the low. This becomes all of the correction, all of this. Wait for this to break the low and then look for a reversal. Dot. I hope you guys trade this, but also drop lower. So this is making a running flat, a drop lower, not a running flat, put an entry here. I think this is going to go back up one more. This looks like it's going to go back up one more here and then drop, making a flat like that. But you already had this running flat. All right, so you get a bigger flat here and then drop. So this looks downside. The first move is up, but then it looks downside. AVA, this too looks very much downside. This one is probably going to pull back here, make another flat, drop again. So also looks downside, which means this is going to come back here, make another flat, drop. I don't see them taking off, although it's a possible thing. We'll buy from above the top. Link, same thing. This comes back here, make a flat, drop. Same thing. Take off that buy, because this broke the low, which means it's going to come here, make a running flat, drop at least one more. And then from there, it could still be upside because the big picture here is upside and that has not changed yet. Right, that could change, but it hasn't changed. The depth of this pullback is not really changing it as yet. But when it goes up, we can consider it sell. You don't want it to go deep. You want it to go this much, make a running flat, come back here, then go. So guys, we managed to complete it. Most of the cryptos, keep your eye on them. Some are looking downside, some still looks upside. And let's see, let me stop the recording again. To my YouTube viewers, check this the description. There's a link there. Register for the free webinar on Thursday. Our traders as well. All of you have to register on that because we will use the Zoom link for that. We'll use that Zoom link for the free webinar. It will be live on YouTube. So hope you guys can be there. And you should also register so I get your email, because a lot of you registered on the old link that I give, not the new link. So let's clear that up, give out those 3 accounts, and then we will see if where we go from there. So thank you guys, and have a great week ahead of you. See all of you. My traders, I'll see you in a few hours.